However, more pressure is being placed on these marine resources. As fish stocks dwindle in other parts of the Bahamas, protecting the marine resources from poachers within the park is important so they can breed and restock the ocean. More than 3/4 of the Bahamas population live on New Providence Island, making it the most densely populated island in the wider Caribbean region. The Bahamas National Trust is undertaking an ambitious campaign to expand its facilities and the parks on New Providence. Eric Carey, the Trust's executive director, explains.
Our goal is to develop these parks into places where Bahamians can bring their families to enjoy nature. We want to provide Bahamians the opportunity to take their families bird watching, kayaking along boardwalks at Harold and Wilson's Pond and Bonefish Pond National Parks and witness the unique nature of the Bahamian natural environment.
One success is that the Bahamas National Trust began a nature program for Bahamas youth called the Discovery Club.
One of the most important values that I've learned from being in the Discovery Club is that it's our responsibility to take care of the environment and that we must take steps to help and protect it.
Conservationists have worked with the Bahamas government to create 25 national parks covering over 700,000 acres of land and sea. These parks span from Walker's Cay, Grand Bahama, Abaco, New Providence, Andros, Exumas, Conception Island, Crooked Island, and Little and Great Inagua. While the government of the Bahamas provides considerable funding support for the national park system, the trust still needs additional funds to acquire more patrol boats, develop better facilities, create educational programs, and hire additional staff. The Bahamas National Trust must depend mainly on private donations to continue protecting these national treasures. If you wish to see these pristine parks treated with the respect and protection they deserve for your children and their children, then please support the Bahamas National Trust.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Prime Minister says investor confidence on Grand Bahama has waned. Also, local government winners sworn in today in East Grand Bahama. And thick plumes of smoke forcing one school to close early. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shoshana Wolf-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping the news, the question tonight: has the second city lost its magic? Well, that question coming after the nation's leader himself expressed concern that investor confidence on Grand Bahama appears to be waning. His comments were made yesterday during a press conference at the office of the Prime Minister here on Grand Bahama. Now, as we hear in this report, the Prime Minister assures that his government is working to turn that around.
Really, my interest in the Bahamas today has really grown and continues to grow. But for Grand Bahama, there's always this sort of a question mark.
It was that statement by the nation's leader that may have been an eye-opener for many. But the island of Grand Bahama has been without significant major investments now for years. That, coupled with Hurricane Dorian and the global pandemic, the island's economy continues to struggle and unemployment remains in the double digits.
They are willing to invest in the Bahamas, a lot of investors, right? Yes, they may wish to come to Grand Bahama, but there's always some reluctance on their part. I had a conversation in Dubai, for example. A person who even came to Grand Bahama and looked at projects, and it just, their desire to invest just withered because it's just something that just didn't connect for them.
Prime Minister Davis says he has been in conversation with potential investors in Dubai and is hopeful that there may be something to cause them to reconnect to Grand Bahama. But he says his government is committed to revitalizing this island.
We are working on how we could restore fully the confidence in investors to invest in.
Many have questioned whether the time has come for Grand Bahama to just focus on the industrial sector and not tourism. But the Prime Minister believes that this island has the ability to tap into tourism, the industrial sector, agriculture, and technology.
So I would not just put my eggs in one basket and say, let's make it a totally tourism destination, or just make it an industrial park, or just make it a tech hub, for example, which is one of the industries that we're looking at to coming here because of the emerging markets of technology.
And he remains adamant that all is not lost, as there are some plans in the work for this island.
We are finding our sea legs, if you know what that means, and I'll be back soon because there's some things on the drawing board for Grand Bahama that might require me being here very soon and very quickly.
Prime Minister Davis adding that the government still intends to break ground for a new hospital in Grand Bahama by June, while noting that there is high investor interest when it comes to the Grand Lucayan Resort. Meantime, the nation's leader also had an opportunity to visit Abaco and view the progress of recovery there since Hurricane Dorian. While he adds that he is not pleased with the pace of recovery, he says the government's intent is to access funding to assist the islands ravaged by the storm.
There are a lot of funding out in the world, particularly for climate change, for medical matters, particularly after COVID. There's quite an appetite to assist jurisdictions such as ours, a small island developing state, and to navigate through the maze to get to it. We need some assistance, and so All in the Night was identified as someone that could do it. That's being done. In fact, a corporate citizen is going to pay for that for us, to which I want to say, I want to thank them publicly, but they want to remain anonymous for the time being. We expect to see some results from that as well. That's why I'm confident that we'll be able to deliver in short order our promises.
Meantime, the nation's leader also making it clear that there is no plan to increase taxes.
No tax measures in the pipeline. As I would have said to the agencies some time ago, my first job would be to see how we grow the economy. Any new taxes is a last resort in our agenda. We're not seeking to put any further burden on our Bahamian people. We think that our tax, that where we are now, with collections and enforcement, we ought to be able to take care of the services that we need to deliver and the promises that we have made to see them fulfilled.
The leaders of the Caribbean Women in Leadership Organization visiting Grand Bahama to discuss the goals and objectives of the body. The organization holding a pinning ceremony recognizing a group of women for the role they continue to play in society. Jay Philippe has more.
Caribbean Women in Leadership, which is a flagship networking organization committed to advancing transformational leadership and increasing the number of women in leadership and decision-making in political and civic life, holding a pinning ceremony to recognize a number of extraordinary women on Grand Bahama. Keynote speaker, attorney Constant McDonald QC, encouraging the honorees to strengthen and increase their political participation and leadership in the country through advocacy, networking, research, and capacity building initiatives.
We have more in common than the differences that divide us. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. In many spheres of our society, the voice of the woman is silent. Don't get me wrong, as I said, we have come a long way. But when I look at Barbados, we're the three most powerful persons in that nation are women. I recognize that we have a lot of work to do.
According to Jules Edwards, CWIL seeks to encourage a development mechanism among women in decision-making.
This is indeed the time where we need more women at the decision-making table. And so that's our call today in coming here on behalf of Caribbean Women in Leadership. And ours is an appeal to Grand Bahama that let's embrace excellence, where we don't just talk the talk, but we also walk the talk.
Indira Kinglock Archer, who's an active member of Caribbean Women in Leadership, sharing the significance of the women's program.
To me, CWIL is not a social club, but it is the inception of a powerful movement that will shift our nation's treatment of women.
The Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge and Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, was also on hand to receive her pin.
Women being honored here today are trailblazing uncharted territory by becoming the first women from Grand Bahama to be installed as members of this outstanding organization, which is comprised of a network of women who are united and dedicated to monitoring, strengthening, and increasing the political participation and leadership of women in the region through its advocacy, networking, research, and capacity building initiatives. This non-political, multi-partisan, independent, non-governmental organization has demonstrated its commitment to advocating social causes and tackling critical development issues in our region.
The non-government organization is welcoming additional aspiring leaders, including young women in leadership in areas such as politics, public life, civil society, and the private sector. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Jay. Well, newly elected local government practitioners in the East Grand Bahama District were officially sworn into office today during a ceremony in that district. The East Grand Bahama District is the first to swear in its members following the January 27th local government elections. Jamila Mizik was there.
12 local government practitioners in the East Grand Bahama District taking the oath of office during a swearing-in ceremony at the St. Nicholas Anglican Church in High Rock. Member of Parliament for the area, Kwesi Thompson, congratulating the newly elected members for making the commitment to serve, adding that politics is about service and they should always seek to make a difference.
When you get involved in your discussions and you see the challenges that you have to face, seek to make a difference. Look at the situation when you first came into your office. Look at your surroundings when you first came into your office. Look at the people when you first came into your office. And seek to leave that office better than you met it. Seek to make a positive difference in the lives of the people that you serve.
Thompson noting that serving is not an easy task, but those elected should always seek to do what is right.
You will not be able to please everyone. Don't seek to please everyone. Seek to do what is right. When you attempt to please everyone, you then take your eyes off of your purpose and your mission. So seek to do what is right. You knocked on the doors. You told the people that you were the best person for the job. You told the people that you could do the job. So now, do the work.
Now, after a brief deliberation between members, Reverend Marcus Cooper was then named as Chief Counselor and Daniel Bain Deputy Chief Counselor. Cooper thanking those in attendance for their support, adding that the council will do its best for the advancement of East Grants Bahama.
We cannot do the work alone, and we will make some mistakes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But what we expect is we expect the community to come and support. We expect the community to come and give us constructive criticism. We are open to that. And more importantly, we want the community to be more engaged and more involved as we aim to take East Grand Bahama to the next level. We need to rebuild our heritage where we look out for one another and ensure that everyone is equally represented and everyone is treated in a fair manner, regardless of everything else.
Now, the East End District Council includes the communities from Freetown to McLeanstown in the east, as well as Matertown, Smiths Point, and Langtown. Jamila Missick, ZNS Network News.
Well, elections for the Grand Bahama Christian Council are set for tonight at 7 p.m. at Calvary Temple Church. Pastor Robert Lockhart has served as president for the last 2 terms and will not be seeking re-election. As he prepares to demit office, Pastor Lockhart took time out today to say thank you to the Grand Bahama community for their support and says he's now looking forward to the new leadership with great anticipation.
We'll wait to see what's going to take place between the ministers that will be offering themselves to serve as president, first, second, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and the other commission positions that we have. And so we're looking forward to a good meeting tonight. And at the end of tonight, we'll have our elections results. And so I would say by tomorrow, we'll know exactly who the next Grand Bahama Christian Council president is. I would just say that we're hoping that at the either first or second vice president position, which we haven't had for a long time, we're hoping that at least one of our women would fulfill one of those posts. And we have one of our women that are offering herself as one of the vice presidents. And so we're hoping that that works out. And because we also want to see our ladies move forward in leadership.
Lockhart noting that the council was able to achieve a lot over the years. However, he says that past 3 years were challenging, but with the help of partners, they were able to find solutions along the way.
The challenges that we faced were surprising challenges. Of course, I was elected in 2018, and as we got moving, the hurricane came in 2019, and that sort of changed the total direction that we probably would have been looked at going, and things we were expecting to deal with as the Grand Bahama Christian Council. So, of course, we went into assistance mood and being able to assist the community. And we were able to partner with Convoy of Hope and many other NGOs that came to the island, along with NEMA and with the government at the present time, and put our hands right to the wheel and got working with government agencies, with NEMA, with NGOs, from those that were helping with food, to repairing homes, to helping people with mold remediation and water. And so it was tremendous.
A bushfire forcing the closure of the Jack Hayward Senior High School today. Principal Bronwyn Smith confirming that the bushfire was just at the back of the campus and it was spreading quickly near the classrooms. She says education officials were contacted and a decision was made to dismiss school in the interest of safety for those students.
We knew it was blazing from last night and the night before in the area. And so we began to watch it, and first we felt okay because the direction of the wind seemed to be favorable at first, and it was not blowing directly into our school. But as we observed it a bit, we saw that it started to change direction, and at that point in time, we started to make tentative plans, touch bases with the bus drivers, touch bases with the lunch vendors, and with my teachers, and to find that whoever had breathing problems like asthma and other difficulties, respiratory conditions. The tactical area was what's being affected first, so we moved them into this area.
Now, Smith adds that an evacuation procedure was mounted and students were directed towards an open field area. From there, they were directed to safety away from the blaze.
Persons were able to pick up students already because we had called ZNS and put some out on the social platform so parents also can come and get their kids. And it went quite smoothly. We are thankful that no one got injured, so hopefully everyone who was an asthmatic is going to feel okay in the morning. And thank goodness we are on the hybrid platform, so if persons want to still get some work done, teachers can still put work up post them, and learning can still go on.
Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Come on down. Now. Come on down. Now.
At Lake Pavilion, we have pre-need, current plot, and niche packages. We are located at number 1 Coral Place, Sergeant Major Drive. Come visit us today and let us ease the burden by planning ahead.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
Police say the victim was found with stab wounds to the neck, chest, and abdomen.
She was stabbed 26 times. Her hair was saturated in her own blood.
He spit in his hand and rubbed it on my face. And I just sat there like, oh my God.
Join us as we dive deeper into the topic of domestic violence. Hear firsthand the stories of women who had the strength to leave and the unfortunate circumstances of those who died trying to. I'm Shashina Wolf-Farquharson, and a special 3-day series called Fear No More airs on February 2nd through the 4th, only on the ZNS Network.
The coconut got this, cocoa ginger madness, juiciness, ice the back, this sweet like a sugar in ya, dripping like ice, hot.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number 1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A newly elected local government councillor in the city of Freeport wasting no time getting down to the business of the people. Tonight, Sabrina Brown tells us about her efforts to assist an elderly and disabled woman in her area.
She has only been in office for a few days, but local government councillor from Marcos City, Omis Lightbourne, is already in the community providing assistance to those who need it. Lightbourne alerted ZNS News to the story of Margarita Williams, a 91-year-old blind woman who lives off Poinciana Drive in Freeport. Since Hurricane Dorian 2.5 years ago, downed utility lines have lined her fence, and a transformer was recently pushed from our driveway to the side of the yard.
From that happened, wasn't nothing going on right around here. Now we called quite a few times for them to come fix these whatever was going on out here, and no one come to assist us. Now I'm disabled, I'm blind, and my daughter, she's in a wheelchair too. Anyway, she ain't doing well herself, and we need more attention. No one come here. We call, no one come to do nothing. But I thank God for Omis, because she's to go get him, and I feel like she'll see that everything be done the right way.
Local government councillor Omise Lightbourne says this is a serious matter that should be given urgent attention.
So I came around, I saw Cable Bahamas wires all over the fence. We have appealed to them to remove it. And like she said, it's been since Dorian. Cable Bahamas and Freeport Power.
Lightbourne says the matter was reported several times, but to no avail.
It is still on the books to be removed. I went down to the Freeport plant. They told me they're coming. The whole thing is we need it moved, and we need it moved now. Miss Williams and her daughter, like I cannot express it enough, that they need the entrance of their driveway. We had to push it to the side of her driveway in order for Elaine to drive on the inside to get in and out.
Mrs. Williams is making this appeal to the utility companies.
I would like them very much to come move this transformer out of our way because it's not, it ain't right.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Now, General Manager at Cable Bahamas, Dominic Petty, and Communications Director at the Grand Bahama Power Company, Cleo Russell, say that they were unaware of the matter. After speaking with ZNS News, Petty says he dispatched a technical team and they determined that all of the lines belong to the Grand Bahama Power Company. Well, since then, GB Power has committed to addressing this matter immediately. The administration and staff at the St. George's High School mourning the loss of one of their own. Security officer Arthur Balfour, who was assigned to the midnight to 8 a.m. shift, was found dead on campus early Monday morning. Principal Sheena White says she received word of his passing shortly after 7.
On behalf of the staff, students, administration of St. George's High School, we really want to wish the family of Mr. Balfour our sincerest condolences. He was such a warm, kind-hearted person, and as a security officer, he took his job extremely seriously. Immediately that morning, even before I would have left home, I would have called our guidance counselor to offer some grief counseling for the staff members once he arrived at school. So once I arrived on scene and he arrived, he immediately offered grief counseling to his Mr. Balfour's fellow co-workers, the security officers, because at that time they were taking it the hardest. Mr. Balfour's presence will be sorely missed. He was very diligent in his work. And like I said, he had an excellent rapport with our staff members and the other security officers, and he welcomed me as a new principal. I depended on him heavily to ensure that the campus was safe and to ensure that I was safe while I worked late many nights.
Fellow security officer Christine Cooper says she had the privilege of working with Balfour for the past 2 years, and she is deeply saddened by his sudden passing.
He has been a real gem. He's a guy that is really helpful. If you need anything, you can call on him. He's right there. He's willing to work and help with anything. He's a bubbly person and a friend. If you're down, you need to talk to him about anything. He gives you an ear. He gives you a shoulder. And he's going to be missed, really missed.
Jay Philippe and your evening sports report is up next.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. We have a few updates in track and field, women's basketball, but let's start this one off with baseball right here in Grand Bahama. Fortune 360 baseball team has been putting in some work on the baseball diamond over the past few months. Coach David Hoyt says they are ready to compete.
They've been practicing every day throughout the week, just getting prepared for the season to start and getting ready for some summer trips for traveling.
The youngsters are looking forward to some major competition ahead.
We have a few trips in mind, one in Florida. Then we have a tournament in Dominican Republic, which is going to be the 12U and 14U. That tournament, actually, the winner of that tournament goes to the Little League World Series.
Fortune 360 traveled to Orlando, Florida this past summer, where they competed in the Cal Ripken Baseball Experience. According to Coach, it was a good measuring stick for the players.
That tournament in Orlando was really powerful for the young men during the times of the pandemic, and they did really well. Had a lot of coaches looked at them. So with this tournament coming up in Dominican Republic, the young guys already have the momentum and the experience to actually do well in this particular tournament.
Switching gears now from the baseball diamond to the basketball court. In women's basketball, with its third straight game against a ranked opponent, Coach Johan, our Ole Miss Lady Rebels, was unable to overcome a slow start despite comeback efforts, falling to number 15 ranked Georgia 62-52. With the loss, the Rebels now dropped to 17-4 on the year overall, with a 5-3 record in conference play. The Rebels will travel to Missouri to take on the University of Missouri. And finally, in sports, congratulations goes out to Chiron Kemp. Kemp was named Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference Men's Track and Field Athlete of the Week. Kemp had a school record shattering performance for the Dragons at the UND Open on Saturday. He won the triple jump with a school record effort of 51.9, shattering the previous school record held by more than 1.5 feet. And that's all I have for you in sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Take part in the Squires Couples Contest from February 7th through the 12th and win a dinner for two. For more details, call 352-8816. Happy Valentine's Day from Esquire.
Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street introduces its new home improvement center. Step into our brand new, fully stocked showroom for the latest in doors, tiles, housewares, kitchenwares, bathwares, vanities, power tools, electrical, and plumbing supplies. So stop by our showroom to view our full range of products or call the Home Advisor hotline at 602-0935 today. We are your home advisors.
Are you tired, overweight, having trouble sticking to your health and fitness goals? Well, look no further. The Fitness Connection has teamed up with ZNS to bring you Health Bites. This and every Thursday, tune in, and we'll make sure you get on track and stay on track with your health and fitness goals. Tune in.
Police say the victim was found with stab wounds to the neck, chest, and abdomen.
She was stabbed 26 times. Her hair was saturated in her own blood.
He spit in his hand and rubbed it on my face. And I just sat there like, oh my God.
Join us as we dive deeper into the topic of domestic violence. Hear firsthand the stories of women who had the strength to leave and the unfortunate circumstances of those who died trying to. I'm Shoshana Wolf-Farquharson, and a special 3-day series called Fear No More airs on February 2nd through the 4th, only on the ZNS Network.
That's what I told her. Bring the winding thing here. This is Rick and Script, so show me emotion. Hey, wine and go down low.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Keith Cooper, you are our Facebook friend of the day, and a special happy birthday to former ACP Emmerich Seymour and matriarch Doris Smith in 8 Mile Walk. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshana Wolf-Farquharson. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, continued optimism ahead of Hilton's pending closure. Education officials mark a smooth first few days back, and Jonquil resigns with the Sun. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Superfast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for joining us. Has the second city lost its magic? That's the question Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis raised while in Grand Bahama yesterday, in the process acknowledging that investor confidence there has waned. Shashina Rowe-Farquharson of our Northern Service reports tonight that the Prime Minister vows his government's working to change that.
Really, the interest in the Bahamas today has really grown and continues to grow. But for Grand Bahama, there's always this sort of question mark.
It was that statement by the nation's leader that may have been an eye-opener for many. But the island of Grand Bahama has been without significant major investments now for years. That, coupled with Hurricane Dorian and the global pandemic, the island's economy continues to struggle and unemployment remains in the double digits.
They are willing to invest in the Bahamas, a lot of investors, right? Yes, they may wish to come to Grand Bahama, but there's always some reluctance on their part. I had a conversation in Dubai, for example. A person who even came to Grand Bahama and looked at projects, and it just their desire to invest just withered because it's just something that just didn't connect for them.
Prime Minister Davis says he has been in conversation with potential investors in Dubai and is hopeful that there may be something to cause them to reconnect to Grand Bahama. But he says his government is committed to revitalizing this island.
We are working on how we could restore fully the confidence in investors to invest in.
Many have questioned whether the time has come for Grand Bahama to just focus on the industrial sector and not tourism. But the Prime Minister believes that this island has the ability to tap into tourism, the industrial sector, agriculture, and technology.
So I would not just put my eggs in one basket and say, let's make it a totally tourism destination, or just make it an industrial park, or just make it a tech hub, for example, which is one of the industries that we're looking at to coming here because of the emerging markets of technology.
And he remains adamant that all is not lost, as there are some plans in the work for this island.
We are finding our sea legs, if you know what that means, and I'll be back soon because there are some things on the drawing board for Grand Bahama that might require me being here very soon and very quickly.
Prime Minister Davis adding that the government still intends to break ground for a new hospital in Grand Bahama by June, while noting that there is high investor interest when it comes to the Grand Lucayan Resort.
Well, the government extending thanks and farewell to Prime Minister of Jamaica, His Excellency Most Honorable Andrew Holness, during his visit here last week. Seeing the PM and delegation off at Odyssey Aviation was Tourism Investments and Aviation Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper. Prime Minister Holness was in town attending the grand reopening of Sandals Royal Bahamian Spa Resort and offshore island here in the Bahamas. The clock's ticking on the British Colonial Hilton Hotel's closure, now exactly 2 weeks away. But as the tourism minister shared this morning, there's some reason to be optimistic as owners of the iconic property continue the push to find a new partner and hopefully keep staffers employed. Cleopatra Murphy has that.
The closure of the Bay Street staple, the British Colonial Hilton, remains imminent. Yet Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Aviation and Investments, the Honorable Chester Cooper, says the position of its owners remains unchanged since its announcement to close come February 15th.
The owners of the Hilton CCA are speaking actively with other potential brands, management companies. Some of them are well known to all of us, and we will wait to see the outcome of those discussions. Suffice to say, it is the intention of CCA to close the hotel on February 15th, as has been announced. And at the same time, if they are able to secure a new management company swiftly, the closure period could be very short.
China Construction America purchased the downtown hotel in 2014. However, it recently cited a dismal business forecast for the foreseeable future as a primary reason for ceasing operations in New Providence, a move that will leave more than 100 Bahamians out of work. Cooper says government remains in close dialogue with Hilton owners who also own other hotel properties and are committed to the Bahamas.
They are seeking to find a new management company. And once they are able to do that, then it's very likely that they will recall most or all of the employees when they reopen. They will still need employees to run the property. So really, to solve the issue, they need a manager, a brand, a network that they can draw on and get guests to come to the property. And then, of course, the jobs will be available for the qualified applicants.
While government and labor officials have been meeting with company officials, Cooper acknowledges that the final outcome is ultimately in the hands of the Hilton's owners.
We can't speak as to the potential time frame of this. This is clearly a private matter between the owners of the property and potential new brands. So this is not something we have direct control over.
Of the more than 100 employees expected to be made redundant, approximately 63 of them are members of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
The tourism minister also at the time boasting of the Bahamas' continued success in leading the region's tourism recovery efforts. Referencing numbers for the last 3 months of the year, Minister Cooper says local tourist arrivals were just below where they sat before COVID-19's impact.
We're tracking slightly behind where we were pre-pandemic, but suffice to say our numbers are strong and looking stronger moving forward. We continue to have 5 ships a day in the harbor in terms of cruise lines, and this is comforting given the perils recently in the cruise industry. But we are seeing positive numbers. We're hopeful that the CDC will relook at the ratings very shortly. We're seeing a significant drop in the number of new cases of COVID, as you know, and this is going to bode positively for our tourism rating in terms of CDC and the tourism bookings moving forward.
Now, based on dialogue with hotel properties, the tourism minister maintains group bookings have been impacted by the CDC's Level 4 travel advisory, while individual bookings continue to be steady. He says declining COVID numbers have also been encouraging.
This has caused us to review our entry protocols and continue to use the antigen test as the standard for entry to our country. So there was some contemplation with respect to the PCR. That's behind us. We recently gazetted the rules that confirm that we're moving forward with the antigen test. This is desirable for travelers across the USA in particular, which is our major source market, as the PCR tests are very difficult to find in some cities.
In other news, technical work on the Sand Dollar project nearly complete. Central Bank Governor John Rowles says that work includes integrating the e-money with banking system platforms, and that's in order for mobile wallets to connect with deposit accounts.
That work is nearing a completion. Right now, the central bank is recruiting additional persons to begin a very intensive outreach to the business community and to coordinate further with commercial banks and other providers of payment services. And so that work will result over the first half of the year in the Sand Dollar gaining in visibility.
And keep in mind that the digital currency project is being targeted for residents throughout the country.
In terms of the size and current impact of the Sand Dollar in the economy, we haven't had a shift relative to where we were in the third and the fourth quarter. And now we are laying the foundation to begin that push. And as I said, the most important part of that is readying the businesses to become enrolled. And that's an initiative that we are pushing this quarter. and allowing the connectivity to be completed with between Sand Dollar Wallet and Deposit Account.
Still to come, 7 islands make it to the latest COVID dashboard, and the education minister on a mission to find absent school students. We'll be back after the break. And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30, and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
Since eating at KFC, Trevor became the value hunter. Get a KFC fill-up with one-piece tender, juicy chicken, a hot buttery biscuit, golden brown fries, and a soda for only $5, including VAT, and save like an expert at KFC. WhatsApp hi to 557-3663 to start your order for pickup at your nearest KFC.
The Ministry of Health wishes to advise members of the public that prevention is key during this flu season. Practicing good cough hygiene can make the difference between you and your loved ones getting the flu or spreading the influenza virus. Good cough hygiene habits include covering your mouth and nose with a tissue when coughing or sneezing, and proper disposal of the tissue in a trash bin. Coughing or sneezing into your upper sleeve near your inner elbow and not your hands when a tissue is not available. Avoiding the use of handkerchiefs and towels as they hold germs, becoming a nest for the virus. And frequently washing your hands with soap and water, which is listed as one of the most important steps you can take to avoid getting sick and passing the virus on to others. If you have any questions about how to practice good cough hygiene to avoid catching or spreading the flu, contact your nearest community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Well, what about me? What about you, what? Well, I thirsty too, you know. You want to see all the water out there? Well, why you don't give me your water, and then you go try and drink that salt water?
You crazy, eh?
I ain't the one talking to a dog, you know.
Ain't nobody can drink salt water.
Then why you won't give it to me? All dogs need fresh, cool water and sufficient shelter from the sun all year round, especially on the beach and during the hot summer months.
Summers are very hot here in the Bahamas, so please make sure all pets have ample, cool, fresh water in proper containers and sufficient shelter from the sun, even on the beach. And make sure all dog houses and kennels have proper ventilation. Let's make it Bahamian to be humane.
This message has been brought to you by the Bahamas Humane Society and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
We begin this segment with the latest COVID numbers in country. And based on the figures the Ministry of Health has compiled, that's 44 for January 31st, 27 for New Providence, 5 for Exuma, 4 for Grand Bahama, 3 over on Eleuthera, 2 Abaco at Dandros, and 1 for the Berry Islands. That gives us a countrywide total of 32,606. Hospitalizations steadily decreasing with now 97. As for recoveries, Monday saw another 122. The same day, 324 RT-PCR tests were completed. Public school students will soon begin diagnostic testing. The Ministry of Education initiatives aimed at determining each child's level of academic aptitude and the possible impact to their learning in the face of the continued challenges COVID-19 has had on traditional learning. Minister of Education and Vocational and Technical Training, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, sees the initiative as critically important to national development.
And we are now in the process of developing a diagnostic test. We're sending out an RFP on that so that we can test every child, understand where every child is positioned academically, socially, psychologically may be an issue also, and then thereafter develop acceleration programs to try and bridge the gap that has been created by COVID-19 in the last 2 years in this country.
Now, no specified timeline given to start the testing. However, if things go as planned, that should be in the shortest possible time.
We've been exploring a number of approaches. You want to do it right. It has to be culturally correct. And so, and there are some domestic, local testing that the Ministry of Education has. But we're also looking, though, to do something a little more complex in terms of the additional programs for accelerated learning. And so I wouldn't want to give a timeline except to say I have asked that it be accelerated so that it can be implemented as soon as possible. But we also know, research also says you don't want to bombard a child with a test. They've been through a very traumatic experience. This has been very, very difficult, and the research is showing that the loss is not just learning, it's in some instances it's psychological.
The Education Minister's comments coming during a visit to E.P. Roberts Primary School as efforts continue to have all 7,000 children on the absentee list to return to the virtual school platform. Carla Palmer reports.
The thrust to get the full complement of students back in school and operating on the virtual platform continued this Tuesday as the Minister of Education, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, spearheaded a walkabout in the Angliston community. The effort is to have all 507 students enrolled in the area school of E.P. Roberts not only registered, but attending school using the hybrid model of both face-to-face and online virtually. The challenge has been, however, to have all students log on virtually when they are scheduled to.
And this initiative is an acknowledgement and a demonstration that this nation cares for our children. Right now, we know that there are thousands nationwide who have not been in school for 2 years, and some portion of that is from this community.
Education officials are recording some success since the initiative started back in January this year. At E.P. Roberts, they are hoping for the same positive results. The school's principal, Manencia Pratt, says 80 students were consistently absent from school, and now that number has been reduced to 50.
We did this in the Freetown area, and they found 60 children.
We must sensitize our parents as to the importance of education. Education is key, and it's also key to national development. And so right now, our country is in a crisis, and so we need to make sure that our children are in school. Minister Hannah Martin is committed to finding all those absentee students.
I know sometimes we believe it's all about us, but it ain't really to do about us. It's to do about how we prepare the ground, as those who came before us did for us. We've done well, much better than they did. We've got to make sure the next generation of Bahamian child, that they are able to be all that they can be and achieve their greatest dreams. So what we're doing now, we are about preserving the dreams of those children yet to be realized.
Minister Hannah Martin says she is committed to doing all she can to rescue our children. Their future, she says, depends on it. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Well, meantime, Education Director Marcellus Taylor says he's pleased with the first week of face-to-face learning. Taylor says from all accounts, things went smoothly as students and teachers readjust to being on campus.
The first week, which was a transitional week, went quite well. We know that a lot of the teachers and the parents were very happy for the students to be back. And it seems like all the students were happy to be back when they walked around schools and so forth. You could see the look of satisfaction or contentment or glee on the faces of the children. What we have been doing is making sure that everybody understands the days in which they should come to school. We also, have to do some adjustments to timetables because that's how that is. It's the process that is undertaken on the school level. Because although they conceptualize the timetable and plan it out, it's not like when you actually operate it on the ground.
This week, a significant one for Catholic schools throughout the country. Catholic Schools Week, as it's called, is typically observed with masses, open house, and other activities for students, families, parishioners, and community members. Here's Catholic Board of Education Director of Development, Janelle Albury, with the details on this year's edition of the 13-year-old program.
It's all about celebrating our Catholic schools and talking about the Catholic school difference, what makes us different. Today, I'm very excited because today is the Day of Giving for Catholic schools nationally. It's hosted by the National Catholic Educational Association. It's the largest national private educational association in the world. So Catholic Board of Education schools are part of this association, and it's just a day to invite persons to give back who Catholic education has a positive impact on. It's a 24-hour online campaign.
St. Thomas More Principal Dr. Renee Mortimer is excited for the week ahead.
And we're so proud of our schools. We've been in the Bahamas for 132 years. Very, very proud. This is just an exciting time for us because we're going to be remembering, our past principals, lay persons, our students, our staff, even the guidance counselors, we have the nurse, the cook, everybody who makes Catholic education happen. Well, the students, of course, we have a song competition. We have the students writing letters, of course, to our priests and our deacons and alumni, giving thanks for what they have done. We're so happy to have them on campus now. This pandemic started in March of 2020, and who would have thought that we would still be in this predicament? But here we are. When you're given lemons, you make lemonade. And so we're here, we're pivoting, we're doing what we can to make our students safe, and they're happy to be on campus.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
There's nothing as powerful as knowing where you belong. No more waiting. It's time to come home. Come home to friendly smiles. Come home to convenience. Come home to more interest on savings and lower fees. Come home to our bank and your bank. Come home to Bank of the Bahamas, your bank of solutions.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward Tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
Undecided about the COVID-19 vaccine or booster? Here are some facts to help you make a decision. The vaccine does not cause COVID-19 infection, and there's no evidence that it makes it worse. Approved vaccines are monitored for safety across the globe. Vaccines do not alter your DNA. The vaccine is effective against current variants of the COVID-19 virus. The vaccine can prevent severe illness if you do contract the virus. We're all in this together. Choose wisely.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low fiber, high fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and alcohol. You can take steps to reduce your risk of colon cancer by making specific lifestyle changes. Eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These foods contain fiber, minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, which may play a role in cancer prevention. Drink alcohol in moderation or not at all. Do not smoke. Exercise with a goal of getting in at least 30 minutes each day. If you've been inactive, start slowly and gradually build up to 30 minutes. Also, talk to your doctor before starting any exercise program. Maintain a healthy weight. If you're at a healthy weight, maintain it by combining a well-balanced diet with daily exercise. If you need to lose weight, ask your doctor about healthy ways to achieve your goal. Colon cancer screening can also help to prevent colon cancer or lead to its early detection when treatment is most effective. If you're 45 years or older, speak to your doctor about having a colonoscopy or some form of colon cancer screening that may be appropriate for you. I'm Dr. Eugene Marcus Cooper. Pay attention to your health. Get the facts and discuss colon cancer with your physician today.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Did you know that there are over 30,000 Bahamians with diabetes and another 23,000 with prediabetes? Each year, this number is expected to increase. Many people who have diabetes are unaware. If you are having blurry vision, feeling thirsty, urinating frequently, or are unusually tired or losing weight despite a healthy diet, you may have diabetes. If you have a parent or sibling that has diabetes, you are also at an increased risk of developing diabetes. If you have noticed any of these symptoms, it is important to see your doctor, who will perform the necessary tests to confirm the diagnosis. Together, we can beat diabetes.
National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, pledging support to create and support diversionary programs at the Bahamas Crisis Center aimed at reducing gender-based violence here in the Bahamas. During a recent tour and subsequent meeting, Minister Munro acknowledged the center's conditions and needs and discussed how to fulfill timelines to assist the ministry's budget planning process. Those in attendance agreed that a concerted effort must be placed on preventative measures regarding gender-based violence, as the cost is far greater physically, emotionally, and financially if efforts are only focused on its consequences. Rhonda Knowles is wanted for grievous harm. The only vitals listed on the All Points Bulletin issued today include a light brown complexion and medium build. If you can assist Fox Hill Police in finding the 32-year-old, please call 324-2030, 324-4880-919, or download the P3 Tips app. From the courts this evening, accused murderer Tyreek Mallory didn't get the results he was hoping for from the appellate court as the panel dismissed his appeal. Mallory wanted to be released on bail ahead of his October 2023 murder trial, but the trial judge refused after taking into account, among other things, the likelihood he would abscond and the fact that the murder was allegedly committed while he was on bail for another serious offense. That did not sit well with Mallory, who appealed to the Court of Appeal. However, the panel dismissed his appeal after finding that the trial judge considered all the factors they ought to have considered on a bail application. However, the High Court indicated that if Mallory's trial does not take place as scheduled, the trial judge will have to reconsider the issue of bail. Labor officials are hoping to entice more Bahamians to participate in the Decent Work Country program. The Bahamas became the first country in the Caribbean to sign the second-generation Decent Country program with the International Labor Organization back on December 6. The 5-year Memorandum of Understanding lists how the ILO will assist Bahamians in the labor force. Director of Labor Robert Farquharson outlines how the agreement's 3 priorities of job creation, social dialogue, and governance will contribute to developing the country's labor sector.
We hope to develop programs. The ILO hopes to invest and provide technical support for the people of the Bahamas to create new jobs. Through their technical support, there's going to be a recommendation for a national apprenticeship program, in that where the government of the Bahamas will work hand in hand with the social partners to create a national incentive apprenticeship program. Additionally, as it relates to social dialogue, the government of the Bahamas will use its endeavors to improve the technical support, particularly to the labor inspectors, to deal with the increase in the minimum wage, to deal with the adoption of the ILO Convention 190, sexual harassment in the workplace. All of these various initiatives are contained in the Bahamas Decent Work Country program.
Well, the Chinese are saying so long to the ox and hello to the tiger, as today marks the start of the Lunar New Year, a time-honored tradition symbolizing prosperity, abundance, and togetherness. Our Jiminy DeSwain has more.
The tiger is a symbol of bravery, ambition, and power and all the good things. So it's the king of the forest. So the tiger is a fitting symbol for the strength of China-Bahamas relations as we are poised to celebrate 25 years of our partnership.
Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas, Dai Ching Li, they're noting the significance behind China's Lunar New Year. The Year of the Tiger, symbolic, she says, of the upcoming 25-year-old friendship the Bahamas and China have enjoyed. It's a milestone that goes hand in hand with another special event in Chinese culture.
The Dragon Boat Festival, which falls on June the 3rd this year, would coincide nicely with our 25th anniversary, which is on May the 23rd. The particular thing about the boat is that it has a dragon head and a dragon tail to the boat, so it looks really nice. And then it has a drummer and a helmsman, both at the front and at the rear end of the boat. So the drummer will beat the drums, and all the rowers will row exactly according to the drum. So it's not just a test of strength of the rowers, but also unity of their rowing. So if they don't row in a coordinated way, then they can't win victory.
The traditional festival, a pivotal one for the Chinese, as many families gather to celebrate with food and gifts.
New Year dinner itself, people would all gather to enjoy different types of food in different parts of the country. But 2 food is definitely common. The first is the jiaozi. People have to do jiaozi in wherever they are for the New Year dinner. And the other thing is fish. Fish is another auspicious food people have, because it has a similar sound to surplus. So if you have fish for New Year dinner, Eve dinner, then you would have surplus all the year round.
The Chinese New Year festival typically lasts 15 days, starting on New Year's Eve and continuing until the Lantern Festival on February 15th. Jiminy DeSwain, ZNS Network News.
And as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
1/3 of all traffic fatalities occur
as a result of excessive speed. In the inner city, residential areas, and high pedestrian traffic areas, the speed limit ranges from 15 to 25 miles per hour. On the outskirts of the island, especially where a sign is not posted, the speed limit 30 miles per hour. The maximum speed limit is 45 miles per hour. On behalf of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, please slow down.
Fixed and mobile services provided by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions helps our customers help their customers adapt to the new way of paying for things. Digital Wallets makes your transactions faster, more convenient, and secure. Whether it's using a debit card at the grocery store or making online payments for your monthly expenses, Digital Wallets powered by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions makes it better. For more information on our fixed and mobile services, contact the experts at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
1/3 of all traffic fatalities occur as a result of excessive speed. In the inner city, residential areas, and high pedestrian traffic areas, the speed limit ranges from 15 to 25 miles per hour. On the outskirts of the island, especially where a sign is not posted, the speed limit 30 miles per hour. The maximum speed limit is 45 miles per hour. On behalf of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, please slow down.
Looking to build your own gift basket or give just an item to that special person? Visit Janae's Chesapeake Road and make a selection from their gift basket sets. A variety of different colored stuffed toys for the occasions in all sizes. Or choose from a selection of special decorative mugs, brooches, jewelry, or fragrance sets. Intimate size basket fillers, domino, Uno, Connect 4, and other board games for that very personal time. Visit Janae's Chesapeake Road or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Janae's Limited. WhatsApp 817-3295.
Diabetic eye disease is caused by changes in the blood vessels of your retina. This disease is the most common cause of vision loss among patients with diabetes and is the leading cause of blindness and visual impairment in working-age adults. Symptoms of diabetic eye disease can include floaters in your vision, blurred vision, fluctuating vision, impaired color vision, or generalized loss of vision. Smoking can quadruple your risk of progression of this disease. Bottom line is, smoking will cause you to go blind faster with diabetes. So quit smoking. Also, for expectant mothers who are diabetic, it is very important that you have your eyes examined during pregnancy, as rapid changes can occur in your eyes during pregnancy. And remember, good eye health is a combined effort between your eye care team, your medical doctors, and you, the patient.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority in conjunction with the Medical Association of the Bahamas and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
Hey, what's that?
What y'all getting?
Listen, I've been waiting to march down some lobster, yeah?
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will be you guys' waiter today. Can I take your order?
Oh, I've been chewing some for some grouper dread.
Y'all see this?
See, this ain't gonna work. Where the fish gone, though?
But how, though?
Don't leave our children with no fish in their future. Protect our sea. Protect our way of life. Protect the Bahamas. To learn how you can help, find us on Facebook at Bahamas Protected. See the future.
An early morning fire causing a bit of a setback for the only radio station on Inagua. Coast FM radio owner George Harris confirming to our news team that the blaze destroyed the frame of his business's front door.
It's a building where I reside, and I also have the studio on here at the same building. Shortly before 2 o'clock this morning, I heard this glass break like, and I was alerted, and I got up and going to the front door of the building, the entrance. I didn't realize the door was on fire, and it was smoky, so I had to get some water and try to extinguish it. And upon, I had to get out of the building, on the outside, find out that it appears like someone had dashed the building with some liquid item and tried to, and lit the fire.
Now, fortunately, firefighters extinguished the blaze and Harris was left unscathed from the incident. He's awaiting the outcome of the police's investigation.
Other than the carpet in the front that's, started a lit fire where I was able to extinguish inside, it's okay. I mean, it's news is going like wildfire because it's a radio station, a community system of communication. Police came by during the investigation. It just so happened that early that morning I did hear vehicles outside on the street for a while before, I heard the crash of the windows. I mean, the window and the door. It happened so fast that I just don't understand, why someone threw a fire, on my building.
A second cruise diverted to the Bahamas. Crystal Cruises' Crystal Serenity arrived in Bimini yesterday, avoiding a judge's order to seize one of its vessels. From Bimini, hundreds of passengers were reportedly taken by ferry to Fort Lauderdale. The Crystal Serenity left Miami, Florida on January 17th with plans to return to California late May. However, the company announced its decision to suspend operations through late April. Meantime, the Crystal Symphony was to return to Miami, but also remained in the Bahamas. It's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makashla. Outside of our studios, we are under mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures warming up day over day. Right now, it's at 68 degrees. Relative humidity at 59%. The winds out of the east at 12 miles per hour. Barometric pressure at 1,020.4 millibars. That's 30.15 inches. And the pressure is falling. Temperatures around the outlets this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 66 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Grand Cove Key in Abaco, Marsh Harbor, Abaco at 68 degrees, the Berry Island 68 as well. Allenstown, Bimini, 72 degrees, 70 in Harbor Island. Rock, Sandy, Lutra, Black Point, Exuma, and Camp Space, St. Andrews at 71 degrees. French Creek, 70 degrees in Allenstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key. The mercury column is just around 72, 74 in Georgetown, Exuma. Ragged Island, Clownstown, Long Island, and Crooked Island reporting 75 degrees. Very warm in Betsy Bay and Acklands. They have 81 degrees. Matthew Town and Agua 77. And the Turks and Caicos Islands at 78 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Pink Setter. In the northwestern islands tonight through tomorrow, the winds are going to be easterly at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. Low tide, that will occur at 8:03 tonight. And then for the central and southeastern islands, also through Wednesday, easterly flow at 15 to 25 knots, very rough seas at 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. So advisory are in place for boaters in the central and southeastern islands through Wednesday. And then on Thursday in the northwest Bahamas, we will see those winds rotate clockwise, becoming southeast at 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet, meaning caution flags in place for boaters on Thursday in the northwest Bahamas. The high tide, that will take place at 9:18 in the morning with the low tide at 3:43 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands on Thursday, winds easterly once again at 15 to 25 knots with those rough seas at 5 to 8 feet. The advisories will continue into Thursday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
They make one way to two-way the tree. The things they do, you gotta see to believe. Oh Lord, jump on this bus, it's 98 degrees. Man, this bus so broke down, ain't got no AC. See salt sunken in, let me off this ride. I just jump on this bus, this man want $1.25. Bus driver, why you not like that?
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, the extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Let me off this drop, I did save us stuff from
Today is a day for fun. Today is a day for family. So why should yesterday's worries affect my today? That's why I insure my family with J.S. Johnson, because their mission is to provide us with the best insurance coverage possible. With J.S. Johnson, I know my family comes first, so I take comfort in knowing that they always have us covered, providing us with a great today and an even better tomorrow.
J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
We elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate, we elevate, elevate.
The Bahamas National Trust is the country's wildlife conservation body. In a sense, this organization is responsible for guarding our heritage. And for decades, that's exactly what this organization has done. BTC's Mission Week exercises, a week dedicated to service, included a stopover here at BNT's Village Road site to make a very special presentation.
The Trust recently celebrated its 60th anniversary. Of course, we're the National Park Service of the Bahamas. There are 34 national parks throughout the archipelago. That's 2.2 million acres under protection.
During the pandemic, we took our National Park Experience program virtually. And so now we facilitate not only students in Nassau, but students all over the Bahamas. They can come and visit our national parks without leaving their homes.
We're always so grateful to rely on the support of BTC year after year, and this has been a particularly special week to be able to host so many students from throughout the islands on virtual park experiences that took place in Andros, in Grand Bahama, and Eleuthera. It's a special opportunity, and we're really happy for BTC to take part and to support us.
A big part of our mission here at BTC is partnering with organizations like the BNT to ensure that the Bahamas is a better place for all of us. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corbell Pyfrom. Be well and be back here next. BTC Connection.
Still many doubts about vaccines and the fight against COVID-19. On Tuesday, February 1st, join Arlene Nash Ferguson, Dr. Mercelyn Dal-Regis, and Dr. Keith Rivers for We Russian Against COVID in 2022. If you have any questions about vaccines, boosters, variants, and more, send them to OPM Communications at bahamas.gov.bs. Your questions will be answered live on your favorite television network or live stream on Tuesday, February 1st at 8 p.m.
This is ZNS Total Sports. Welcome to sports, everyone. Well, she's officially back. Today, the Connecticut Sun announced that their superstar, Jonquel Jones, has signed the core qualifying offer extended by head coach and general manager Curt Miller. Per team policy, no details were released. However, in a statement, Miller saying that they are ecstatic about JJ's decision to return, continue her career in Connecticut. Miller said she's one of the most versatile and talented players in the world. She has a burning desire to improve. They look forward to building upon the momentum of her MVP season. Jones, who was selected 6th overall in the 2016 WNBA draft, has been a versatile driving force behind the Connecticut Sun's success for the last 5 seasons. After opting out of the 2020 bubble season, Jones came back with a vengeance, starting in all 27 regular season games she played in, tallying 18 double-doubles and averaging a career-high 19.4 points per game, 11 rebounds, and a career-best 2.8 assists. As far as the accolades, she was a 4-time Eastern Conference Player of the Week and a 3-time WNBA Player of the Month. Jones was also awarded Peak Performer in rebounding, including the season with a league-leading 11.2 rebounds per game. In collegiate track news, Minnesota State University Moorhead junior Chiron Kemp has been named the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference Men's Field Athlete of the Week. The league announced on Monday it's Kemp's first honor of the 2022 indoor season. Kemp had a school record-shattering performance for the Dragons at the UND Open in Grand Forks on Saturday. He won the triple jump with a school record of 51.9 meters, shattering the previous school record held by more than a foot and a half. Kemp's jump is ranked second in all Division II. Was an NCAA qualifying mark. His jump ranks first in the NSIC this season as well. Duplicating the accomplishments of local tennis pros have been difficult for local talents. One member of the Bahamas Lawn Tennis Association shares with us why this drought has been so long. Crystal Darling has that report.
As an avid tennis player, Dwayne Gibson spends countless hours in the gym working out just to be competitive playing recreational tennis. After all, to become as accomplished as Bahamian tennis pros Roger Smith and Mark Knowles requires a certain level of dedication to the sport.
For persons to stay on the circuit, you need resources, you need commitment, stickability. I think most of our kids want to remain on the circuit and try, and then, you know, life happens and other opportunities happen and they come off track. But it starts early. Your parents have to be involved. And for me, I think you just need to have a lot of international match play and see what's out there.
Going pro, no doubt a difficult journey, but this fast-paced sport has its fair share of advantages.
Tennis allows you an opportunity to get your education even if you're reasonably well. You don't have to be great, because a lot of these schools are looking for players and they're giving full scholarships. So gentleman I play, both of his children benefited from that opportunity, educated themselves, and are productive citizens now.
As a member of the Bahamas Lawn Tennis Association, Dwayne acknowledges developing the sport locally has been challenging, but that the effort continues.
Tennis has its ebbs and flows in the Bahamas in terms of the development. It depends on the administration and what their mandates are. From what I've seen over the years, there's always room for further development in junior tennis and to provide resources for the young players to develop. One of the challenges that is faced is competition, because our players play each other, but they need to play persons in Latin America, North America, Europe, and go to tournaments, I think, for match play. There's a lot of players who get training here, but I think they need a little bit more exposure for the sport to really take off.
Played on 3 different surfaces, tennis tests one's fitness and mental capacities.
It requires a lot of discipline and skill, eye-hand coordination, movement, strength, but it's a sport that you can play into your 80s. I've been playing it for about 15 years now, and I love it. It looks easy, and I just encourage persons to come out and challenge me. We'll see.
And whether going pro or simply being schooled in the sport, all that's needed is a racket, an instructor, and, as they say, practice, practice, practice. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Crystal Darling.
And begin today's sportscast on a somber note for some football fans. As you've probably heard by now, Tom Brady sort of did a thing. After much speculation brought on from a tweet from ESPN insider Adam Schefter this weekend, the future first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback is officially calling it a career, retiring from the NFL after 22 seasons. His list of accomplishments is long enough to wrap around the earth 9 times. His most recent include leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to their first Super Bowl win since the turn of the century. As such, it would make sense he'd give them glaring mention in his official goodbye statement, but it's who he did not include that has raised a multitude of eyebrows. In his 8-page dissertation released on Tuesday morning via his Instagram account, Brady offers not a single word about the New England Patriots. He rewrote much of the NFL record book and personal team accomplishments with the Patriots, piling up career records such as most touchdown passes with 624, most passing yards with 84,250 in his 22 seasons, 20 of which were with the Patriots. Overall, Brady finishes with a 243-73 regular season win-loss record. He's 35-12 in the playoffs. He won 3 MVP awards and was selected to the Pro Bowl 15 times. Tom Brady concluding what is certainly a surefire first-ballot Hall of Fame career, etching his name in history as arguably the greatest signal caller in NFL history. And that's been a look at sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return.
It's Total Sports.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tarleton showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who is gonna call the Tile King?
Tiles on everything.
Look, I don't know who Shawnee think I am, all right? I only win 2 BAISS championships. I deal with connectivity.
Alive. What do we got?
Well, we are 100% Bahamian owned, and we inspired all Bahamians to believe in best. And we delivered on revolutionizing telecommunications in the Bahamas. Not to mention, our network works in the good days and the bad.
Thank you. But I need you to go faster. Be better.
Fixed and mobile services provided by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions helps our customers help their customers adapt to the new way of paying for things. Digital Wallets makes your transactions faster, more convenient, and secure. Whether it's using a debit card at the grocery store or making online payments for your monthly expenses, Digital Wallets powered by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions makes it better. For more information on our fixed and mobile services, contact the experts at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
The Dixon Hill Lighthouse on San Salvador to let you know that marine protected areas make dollars and cents. A well-designed and managed network of protected areas can generate income for nearby communities. From MPA managers to lodges to eco-tours, there is money to be made.
Healthy marine ecosystems help to protect our islands from climate change and other impacts that we cannot control. Healthy coral reefs help to break down fake waves, and mangroves absorb storm surge and help to protect our coastline.
Older and larger fish tend to carry more and healthier eggs than younger fish. Fish replenishment areas will allow fish to grow bigger and ensure that we have more fish now and in the future.
In our replenishment area, fish are free to grow and reproduce. As their populations increase, more fish will spill over into other areas where fishermen can increase their catch and their income.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island, and you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
See the future with Bahamas Protected.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we have some moisture streaming across the northwest Bahamas, and that's providing some cloud cover there, and that will continue through tomorrow. Our forecast for tonight, partly cloudy, still on the mild side with the low temperature around 65 degrees. And tomorrow, we're looking at partly sunny with a moderate breeze in place. Temperature-wise, is going to get up to about 77 degrees. And your extended weather forecast, lots of sunshine developing as we get into the weekend. Those temperatures getting up into the upper 70s, and we should peak out at 80 degrees on Friday, and then the upper 70s will continue through the weekend and into the early part of next week. Nighttime temperatures, well, they're going to hang around in the mid to upper 60s, so the nights will remain nice and comfortable. Makushla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low-fiber, high-fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and alcohol. You can take steps to reduce your risk of colon cancer